few of the most common types of mortgage fraud in the mortgage business. Hello everybody, Chad Helmcamp here with BWC Lending. I'm here to answer that question. There are three types of mortgage fraud I want to talk about: income and asset fraud, as well as occupancy fraud. I'll start with income and asset fraud simply because it's pretty basic in the sense that it's someone who modifies their either paycheck stubs or asset statements, or they simply lie about it on their documentation, only to be learned about later on. This type of fraud can be identified during and or after the loan process. Our hope, of course, is to identify it beforehand. Of course, we hope that no one ever tries to accomplish that, but I did happen to have that happen earlier this year. We had a prospective buyer modify some bank statements. Took us a little while to identify that they had edited some things on those statements, but we noticed there was different font. The balances didn't quite add up, and so we were able to identify it, and unfortunately we had to deny their loan as a result. But at least we caught it in advance. The other type of fraud I'll talk about would be occupancy fraud. This is far and away the most common type of fraud that we see, and the primary reason people lie about occupancy fraud. Well, let me explain what occupancy fraud is. Occupancy is where you fill out on an application that you're going to buy a home. Typically, they'll say as a primary residence, in the hopes of being able to obtain a loan with a smaller down payment and or a better interest rate, or a combination of both. We also see people say that they're going to buy a home as a second home, when in fact they don't intend to have it as a second home and they just want to use it as an investment property. Ultimately, people are usually trying to accumulate investment properties, and so they'll lie on their application as a result to accumulate as many properties as possible with the least amount out of pocket at the best loan terms possible. So we see this a lot. I think we're going to continue to see it even more in this higher elevated rate environment that we're in. But the reasons you don't want to lie on these types of things: number one, should we go through an economic downturn of some sort and we start to see foreclosures increase, this is an area that's going to be investigated very heavily. And so if somebody forecloses on a home, the very first thing they're going to do is they're going to pull those loan files, and they're going to start investigating to see, did that buyer lie about their intention when they secured that loan. The penalties for fraud, for mortgage fraud, are up to 30 years in prison and up to $1 million in fines. So it's not worth it. Just be honest. Tell us the truth about what's happening. We'll guide you into the best loan we possibly can. If you've got any additional questions or concerns, give us a call. Have a great day.
I belong to you.
I belong to you.